Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. Today on the podcast, we're going to talk about diversifying your revenue streams. This is important for you whether you are self-employed or you are working for somebody else. We're going to explore in this conversation what it means to have diversified revenue streams, why you should think about diversifying your revenue streams, and how to go about actually diversifying your revenue streams in the specialty coffee industry or beyond. So, what does it mean to diversify your revenue streams? Basically, what it means that the traditional model where people typically get a job or own a business to create a revenue stream is usually the revenue that they are dependent on to fund their lives. Now, diversifying that means that you are going to start looking at either supplementing that income or creating more lucrative income streams to relieve the pressure of your dependency on your main income stream. So for those who have a job, this would mean finding other ways of supplementing your income so that should you lose your job, should you go into a lockdown, should the business you're working for close down, you already have built in a type of financial padding that allows you to pivot rather quickly because you are less affected as a result of the diversified revenue streams that you have. It also means that you perhaps don't hedge all your bets on one industry. So, for example, I am an entrepreneur and I primarily focus on business endeavors in the coffee industry. But I'm highly passionate about entrepreneurship as a whole. And so I have businesses outside of the coffee industry that also pique my interest and that I do activate revenue streams from. So within the coffee industry, I have a number of revenue streams, and I also am building revenue streams outside of the coffee industry. That's as a business owner. Now, you as a business owner may look at ways of diversifying your business, your specific business within the coffee industry, so that you have different, diverse revenue streams that feed that business. For example, if you have traditionally just operated a roastery or just operated a cafe, you might look at exploring the alternative to the other that you currently have. So you may, if you just had a roastery, decide to open a small cafe in that roastery, and now you have two revenue streams that have emerged from one revenue stream. If you had a cafe, you might think about starting to roast your own coffee and selling that coffee to create an extra revenue stream while also reducing the costs of producing your cost of goods. You may also, whether you have either of those businesses, consider another revenue stream on top of that, which may be an online retail store. It may be creating a podcast where you can gain advertising sponsorship. It could be creating an app. All of these things are diversified alternative revenue streams that you can start to build on to create less of a dependency on the current revenue streams that you have. Now, why should you think about doing this? If the last 12 months isn't a good enough why to explain why you should be doing this, I'll give you a couple of other reasons. The world is going to continue to shift and change. Climate change is becoming more and more pressing an issue, as can be seen from the massive cold snap that's happening in Texas right now that has closed down a number of businesses. Well, every cafe in a lot of Texas. So I definitely know in Houston that's happened. I know that in Austin that's happened. I know that in San Antonio that's happened. Cafes have closed down. So not having alternative revenue streams means that you are now up shit creek without a paddle, as we say in Australia, when it comes to making payroll and when it comes to making other financial commitments that you have. So as the world continues to change and as the stressors on us continue to evolve and develop, diversifying your income streams as a business or as an individual will help you be less vulnerable. Now, if you are an employee and you're looking for a reason as to why you should be thinking about diversifying other than revenue or being dependent on revenue, diversifying helps you make sure that you are developing as a professional. So that's the added bonus about continuing to diversify. Try different things. Make sure that you are on the right career track. You may find something that you love, that you want to cultivate more skills in and get educated on, and perhaps develop that into a business. I am of the firm belief that true freedom and true independence from other people deciding the fate of how you will experience your life comes from being a business owner and being an entrepreneur. It's not for everybody because it has extreme challenges that come with it. But if this is something that's important to you, business ownership is going to be the way to go. And open-mindedness and diversification in business ownership is going to be important as we progress as a civilization. Now, how do you go about diversifying your revenue streams? Great question. First of all, you've got to plan for it. So when the pandemic hit, we had to react very quickly, all of us, to new income streams, whether that be there were many people in our industry that had to use unemployment as an income stream and had to figure out how they were going to supplement that as soon as they came off unemployment. Businesses had to react very quickly and create convenience stores and online stores and all that kind of jazz. We all watched it. We all know it. I don't need to reiterate it. But now that we've come this far from the beginning of the pandemic, we should start to be proactive in planning for alternative and diversified revenue streams. And planning is an integral fact for that. So start asking yourself questions like, what else do I want to do? What else am I good at? What else am I interested in? What do I think I could grow a revenue stream from? So if you work in coffee and you are good at coding, perhaps creating an app and going about the journey of figuring out how to do that is a feasible, diversified revenue stream that you can start planning for. Another option is if you have experience and clout in a niche part of the coffee industry, whether it be coffee roasting, whether it be training, whether it be how to source green beans, whether it be origin trips, whatever it is, consider becoming a consultant where you can share your expertise in that field. Now, in the next episode of the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, we are going to be talking to you about a very new mastermind group that we are setting up where we are going to help a small group of people who do join the mastermind group. We're going to help you build and plan for successful businesses as a consultant in the coffee industry. There will be 10 positions available, and it will cost $100 a month for 6 months, and we will help you plan out and very strategically and clearly define how you will build your business as a consultant in the coffee industry. I have been doing this for a long time. I have a successful business in coffee consulting or consulting in small business in the coffee industry, and I can help you do the same thing. It isn't for everybody, and you will need to have a specific level of expertise that you can transfer skills over to somebody who you are a consultant for. So that leads me to the next step. It's not just about planning, it's about education. So much like the mastermind group we're going to start is going to educate people in all the different elements and factors that they need to become a consultant in the coffee industry, whatever revenue stream it is that you're choosing to cultivate. Once you've planned for it, go figure out the skill sets that you need to start filling in the gaps and get educated on that, whether it's within the coffee industry or outside of the coffee industry. And then the final thing, take action. It's one thing to plan, it's one thing to educate, but if you do nothing about it and don't pull the plug on cultivating another revenue stream, the effort will have been for nothing. So plan for it, educate yourself on what you need to do to be able to build the viable diversified revenue stream, and then go out there and do it. All of this is geared towards removing your vulnerabilities to be at the mercy of one particular revenue stream, so that should you come under hard times or should our industry get hit again, you'll be protected from that. I hope this has been helpful, friends. If you need any links to our mastermind groups or our education platforms, head to the show notes below. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day.